Hey everyone, welcome back to another Tic Tac Taiko. There is a question I have been asked more than any other, a question that I've been asked even before I started this channel.
Why are you the way that you are?
No, not that one. The question is, how do I practice Taiko at home? That question actually is two different questions in one. One way to hear it is, how do I, Adam, practice at home? What is my approach? What equipment do I use? The second version is, how does one practice Taiko at home? Tips and tricks for people who practice at home like me. I'm going to answer both versions of those questions through two short videos. This week, I'm going to talk about the mindset of Taiko home practice. Oh, before we get into the fun information, if you haven't hit the like button, go do that. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, go do that. Both of them will make your day, I promise. All right, on to the information. When it comes to the mindset of practicing Taiko at home, the most important thing to have is motivation. If you don't have motivation to practice, you might do a little bit here and there, but it's not going to be very effective, and it's really easy just to stop doing it altogether. And you don't want that. To help generate motivation, I use two different structures, as I call them. And the first one is schedule. The most important thing to remember when it comes to scheduling is you control your home practice schedule, more or less. You have life, you have work or school, you have family, whatever, but you can determine when it is you practice Taiko. It doesn't have to be symmetrical. It doesn't have to be 15 minutes every other day. It can be 5 minutes on Monday, half an hour on Thursday, 26 minutes on Saturday. Whatever works for you, you can make happen. You can be very precise. You can pick 9 o'clock this day and 10:15 on that day, or you can give yourself a range. Say you know you have an hour of free time Saturday morning. Somewhere in that time, you're going to practice for 10 minutes. And what's important here is to be consistent, to make it into a habit that you're used to doing, so it becomes part of your overall schedule, not this thing that you're trying to work around. I find that when I'm starting a schedule or recreating a schedule, I start small. I add things that I know I can easily accomplish. 10 minutes here every few days, not a problem. And from there, once I've proven to myself that's easy enough, I can then choose to add maybe 5 minutes here, or maybe a 30-minute chunk here, and it feels good to know I can and will add more time. Now compare that to the opposite end of the spectrum, which is to add way too much to a schedule that just can't handle it. So I love Taiko so much, I'm going to practice 30 minutes a day. That's great. I'm glad you love Taiko that much. But you're going to probably find out it's unrealistic. And cutting that time is actually going to be maybe difficult, but probably demoralizing as well. Starting small and building up is going to make you enjoy your home practice a lot more. Overall, the key to a good schedule is making it a habit as soon as possible. As soon as you can figure out what works and you do it enough, it becomes part of your schedule rather than something that's in the way or interfering with other stuff you want to do. The second structure is goals. In my opinion, every single time you're practicing at home or on your own or whatever, you want to have an idea of what it is you're trying to accomplish. A goal can be something small, something big, something precise, or something even vague, but it needs to exist. The danger of not having a goal is to start feeling aimless, like this is pointless. Why am I doing it? And that starts to snowball. You start to make excuses to cut practices short, to skip practices. Eventually, either you're not practicing much at all, or the ones you do are kind of and you're just not getting much out of it. So what kind of goals are there? I'm glad you asked. For me, there are three basic goals. Either a skill, a song, or a solo. Now there is a fourth goal, but we're going to talk about that one at the end. If your goal is a skill, odds are there's a drill associated with it. Odds are there are many drills associated with it you can choose from. So for example, your goal is, I want to play faster. Great. Pick a rudiment. Pick a couple of rudiments. Get a metronome. You're good to go. There's your drill. Maybe you want to build your endurance. You can do push-ups, calisthenics, running. You can do all kinds of things that increase your endurance. It doesn't have to be a musical or artistic skill. Any skill falls into this category. The second goal is a song. Pretty self-explanatory. If there's a song I want to play, I'm going to practice that song. And some of you may already do this, but if there's a chunk of that song that you need to practice on, or a couple of chunks, Don't waste time practicing the whole thing. Practice the chunks of that song. Then when you feel comfortable or at least want to try it, then incorporate that into part of the song eventually, into the whole thing. And our third skill, soloing. Soloing and improvisation is a topic I talk a lot about on this channel. I have a lot of videos, so I'm not going to spend any time talking about it here. Check out any one of those videos. I'm sure there's something for you. And what's this fourth category I mentioned? The fourth category is play. Now, I did a whole video on the idea of play, so I'm not going to cover it here. Well, I'll talk about it a little bit. But if you want to learn more, and you should, because play is a very, very important thing for artists, including taiko players, to work with, check out the video. I'm going to link below. You should click on it. It's got a panda in the thumbnail. Who doesn't like pandas? Anyways, it's a really good topic. It's really important to get those creative juices flowing, and play is a great vehicle for that. But anyways, for this week's video, play can either be an accessory for one of the three goals or something outside of the realm of those three. So for example, you can do one of the drills over and over and over and you start getting bored, and boredom is a great sort of launching off point for play, and see where that takes you. May not necessarily help that drill, but it might take you into a really cool creative area. Great. The second kind of play that doesn't focus on those three goals is ironically a lot like not having a goal at all, but here's the difference. If I approach my drums or my equipment without any goal in mind, just because I told myself I'm gonna practice, eventually I'm gonna feel aimless, like I mentioned. But if my goal is not to have a goal, there's a different intention. I know I'm here to see what might happen. And that actually, I think, can build motivation versus not having a goal, which easily drains any motivation you might have had. And if you're confused, that's okay. So am I. Check out the play video after this one and you'll be fine. There's one thing about goals that I think is really valuable, and if you've watched up to this point, congratulations. Consider this a reward. You can have a what, but it's better to have a why. A why comes with because, and that because makes a goal really valuable. Let me explain. Let's say my goal is to play faster. So I'm gonna pick donsuku, and I'm gonna have a metronome, and that's my goal. My what is the drill I'm going to do. But why do I want to play faster? Well, maybe there's a song that requires a fast G that I struggle with. I want to get faster so I can play because I want to get to be able to play that song. That goal is a motivator. Just having a drill may or may not motivate you, but having a reason to do that drill will. Or for example, let's say I want to learn this song. Cool, that's your what. Your what is the song practice. But why do you want to learn that song? Oh, I want to learn that song because once I learn that song, then I might get invited to more gigs. I'm more valuable to the group. I'm more useful because now they can take me to these gigs that I couldn't go to before. Maybe. There's your reasoning. There's your motivation that will take you a lot further than just, I want to learn that song. That's a good goal. But the because, the why, makes it a better goal. Makes it a goal that will really motivate you to practice. So those are our two structures, a schedule and a goal or goals. I could have gone way more into detail about things I've done and I don't do and I've learned, but I wanted to make this a shorter, more accessible video to maybe help kickstart some people in the inspiration department. If you found it valuable, if you have questions, let me know in the comments. If you found things that work for you in particular, please put them in the comments, whether it's on YouTube or on Facebook. Let other people know what works for you. These videos are meant to help the community. The second video in this series is going to be on the equipment that I have, what I've purchased over the years, what I've acquired, what I really like using, what I've used less over the years, etc. That particular question I get asked a lot, what is it you use? So I'm going to answer those questions then. And so until next time, keep on practicing and be well.